Hey everyone, Mr. Etter here. This is the Properties of Ionic and Covalent Bonds lab, and I just want to walk you through a couple things here. I think this lab is pretty straightforward and a little bit possibly easier than some of the others. But the goal of this lab is that at the end of the lab you should know what are some properties, 3 properties for ionic bonds and 3 properties for covalent bonds. In the first section here is you learn about conductivity testing. So does this solution conduct electricity? When you play the video, it will bring a light bulb, and if the light bulb lights up, it does conduct electricity. Make sure you change the substance and you click load so that you can watch all 4 videos. When you watch all 4, you can select the solutions that do and do not conduct electricity. There's a few questions here asking about what are those substances made of. Part 2, we get to melting tests, so conductivity testing and melting testing. With the melting test, we are reading the melting point. Make sure you watch this video. It walks through how they did the melting tests. Here we actually have the melting test video, so you can change the substances again, click on the other substance, click load, and you should be recording the data in the data table. So actually write down the temperature at which the substance starts to melt. Now it can be a little tricky to know which temperature it's melting at, but when you first start to see the particles melt, that's the temperature that you want to record. Or maybe just wait a little bit, but don't wait too long. Make sure you record that first temperature when the particles really are melting. In part 3, you are making predictions about substances and making a prediction. Will this substance conduct electricity up here? What temperature will these melt at, these substances? So you're predicting in part 3. Part 4, you're going to test your predictions with the data here and put your data in the data table. Is it ionic or covalent, and does it conduct electricity, yes or no? Answer some questions. The second part of this testing is the melting point. What temperature does it melt at? Record that data in the data table, answer some of the questions. And then lastly, in part 5, you will be summarizing your results, summarizing for these properties of ionic compounds and number 2, properties of covalent compounds. Again, I think this is pretty straightforward. The goal here is for you to learn about properties of ionic and covalent compounds. Let your instructor know if you have any questions.